Okay, you guys, so I just got back from my psychiatrist's office. It was my first time going there, and I just have a lot of frustrations about our mental health practice and the laws that are in place in our country, and I feel like they are extremely careless and should be illegal, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, so the way that things work, at least in my case, is a psychologist, somebody that does not prescribe medication, they just like work with like cognitive behavioral therapy, art therapy, whatever it is. You basically just talk to them and they try to help you and talk you through your problems, right? So you talk about things. Well, a psychiatrist prescribes medication and you don't see them very often. In fact, the first time you see them for an hour and then they prescribe you a medication. And then, maybe every month or every few months you go in for half an hour and that's it. All backwards. This is like, it should be illegal. Let me tell you why. Today, I went into the psychiatrist, talked to him for an hour. He barely knows me. After talking to somebody for an hour and telling them some of your, history or how you're feeling or whatever, that's not enough time to get to know somebody well enough to be putting them on a mind-altering medication that could possibly cause them serious harm or death. I just was put on a medication today. I'm not going to be taking it, but I was prescribed a medication today, and that doctor barely knows me. I specifically said to him, don't you think it's a little crazy that you don't even barely know anything about me and you're prescribing me a medication that could possibly put me into a mental hospital or cause me to kill myself? And he was like, yeah, it's hard, but we do the best we can. So I'm like, okay, so for instance, and the reason why I'm like saying this or thinking this to begin with is because growing up I was put on a lot of different medications by a bunch of different doctors, and they made me way worse than I was already. And I tried to commit suicide multiple times. I was in and out of psychiatric hospitals like majority of my adolescent life, and I was basically raised in them. If you've read my book, you know what I'm talking about. But these doctors don't really get time to spend with you to know what's really going on in your life and how you're feeling. Maybe you were misdiagnosed when you were younger and there's something else that's wrong with you and you're not being treated properly, and that's why you're having all these problems or issues. I basically went in today because I've been feeling really depressed, and to the point where like it's hard for me to work and it's affecting my daily activity, like my activities of daily living. It's affecting that. And when stuff starts to affect that, something needs to change. I need some help here. Basically is what I'm doing. I'm reaching out to these people and these doctors saying, listen, I need help. There's something wrong with me. And they're not taking very much time to really get to know me and know what's going on with me to be able to properly diagnose and treat me with medication. So I feel like laws need to be changed. Instead of seeing a psychologist once a week, I think in the beginning you should be seeing your psychiatrist once a week. I think personally, in my case, I should be seeing a psychiatrist 2 to 3 times per week for an hour each time before, for a period of time until he really knows what's going on with me and can properly diagnose me before putting me onto a medication. Because different medications work for different things, and some medications make things worse. And if you misdiagnose me because you didn't have time to spend with me very much, something really bad can happen. And I just feel like that's like malpractice. It's dangerous. It should be illegal. I really think that it should be illegal. And I told my doctor this. And so he's like, okay, well, if you want, you can come see me more, but I really suggest that you take this medication. Which I'm not going to be taking that medication until I feel like he is 100% certain he knows what my diagnosis is and that this medication could possibly help me. And then once I'm on that medication, I think that I should still be seeing a doctor. And that when I say this, I don't just mean in my case, I mean in everybody's case. Anybody that's going through like depression or any kind of mental illness, they should be in close contact and relations with their psychiatrist before being put on medication so that they get a proper diagnosis, and then after being put on medication for a period of time, like a span of months, I feel like, to make sure that they're stable on their medication, it's helping them and it's working. And if it's not, then they need to fix it. But seeing a psychiatrist just like one time, like maybe once a month, is not enough to be properly diagnosed and treated, in my personal opinion. With that being said, I specifically asked this psychiatrist, I said, okay, so for some reason, I take this medication and something really bad happens and I don't agree with, or the medication doesn't agree with me, let's say, because this has happened in my past, and I end up in a psychiatric facility. Are you going to come to the hospital when I'm all fucked up now on this medication that you gave me and try to sort it out and put me on a different medication? And he's like, well, no, by law, I wouldn't be able to do that if you're in a hospital. I wouldn't be your doctor there, somebody else would. Okay, so you're telling me that you're putting me on a medication. If something goes wrong, I'm going to now have to see a different doctor that knows nothing about me. And when I'm in that terrible state, the only thing that that doctor is going to know is what I'm going to tell him. In whatever shape I'm in, if I ended up in a psychiatric hospital, I don't trust myself of what I'm telling the doctor. I don't even know what's going on in my mind or why that's happening to me. But these doctors are going to trust me when I'm in that state of mind under that medication to know how to treat me. Totally different doctor. Do you see how this system is messed up? It doesn't make any sense. It's all jacked up. Like, this is bad. This needs to be fixed. And I told this psychiatrist, why don't you fix the system? I said, this is messed up. And he agrees that it's messed up the way that all of this is working. So I asked him, well, why don't you try to change it? And he's like, well, I can't really do much. The system is so big. But you are the doctor. You should be the one trying to fix something. If you see something wrong in your field, you should do everything you can to try to fix it and change it for the future generations, or just for our generation in general. At least try. You went into this field most likely because you want to help troubled people, but the system is troubled. We need to fix this. I'm just patient. I can't do anything. I mean, I can try. I'm putting this video out to raise a little bit of awareness. I highly doubt any doctors watch my crazy videos, but you know, I don't understand. Does anybody else agree with me? Has anybody else been in this situation before? Can you please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are and what we can do to try to fix this? Because it really makes me feel uneasy going into this whole new process of now being put on new medication, having new doctors. If something goes wrong, then I get switched to a different doctor that doesn't know me. And it's just like, it doesn't seem right. The system does not seem right at all. Something needs to change. Something needs to be fixed. Anyways, I'm just ranting because, you know, this psychiatrist didn't want to see me again for a while after this appointment. Or not didn't want to see me, but like the normal routine is just to like, okay, I'll follow up. I'll see you in a month, see how you're doing on your medication. Like, what? No, I'm not doing very good. Like, and he knows that, which is why you put me on medication to begin with. And I just want to clarify that this doctor that I went to is a doctor that does not like to prescribe medication unless it absolutely needs to be prescribed. And they also do, it's like TMS is what it's called. I think it's like some type of like therapy that they do other than medication also, but he didn't recommend that for me. But there's just like, I went to a probably one of the best doctors in my area that I felt like would do what I wanted them to do. Not just like, oh, you've been diagnosed bipolar. Okay, so we're going to put you on some bipolar medication and see how you do. Like, this doctor was like, okay, let's see what tell me what you're feeling. You know, he wasn't just going to like take the other doctor's words that I was bipolar. He wanted to know like what I was going through. I really liked that about him. Because he's not just like, okay, so you're bipolar. He like actually wants me to talk to him and find out if he thinks I'm bipolar. Which I like, because I have a lot of bipolar symptoms, but not some of them. So I was curious what his thoughts were. So I told him, like, I want to see you more often than once a month. I don't know what my husband is doing in the other room, but he sounds like he's blending up our cat right now. It's so loud. Oh, it's our dishwasher. No, not our dishwasher. What is the little thing that like you press in the sink? The disposal thing. Anyway, okay, so I'm kind of going off track because I'm losing track of what I was talking about. But basically, I got distracted and now I forgot what I was talking about. Anyways, I'm just like, I told my doctor that I want to see him more than once a month, that I want to see him like more frequently so that he can get to know me better so we can make a diagnosis, because before, when I left his office, he didn't know what my diagnosis was. He didn't know what was wrong with me. But he still put me on a medication to try to help with my depression, and that scares me. I'm not taking that medicine. You can prescribe it, but I'm not taking it. I'm not taking it until I know for a fact that you know what's wrong with me and that I'm properly diagnosed and that you're going to be seeing me frequently while I'm on this medication to make sure it's working and it's okay and I'm doing okay. Because I don't want to end up in a psychiatric hospital. I don't want to kill myself. And sometimes these medications can make me feel that way. And I know that from past experiences, and so it scares me. And I'm scared not just for myself, but for other people in this world that are possibly going through the same thing. So I wanted to share this, I think, because it's really important. It's something that I really feel strongly about that needs to be changed in our system. And I know that I'm just one person, but I feel like if there's a little bit more awareness raised about it, that maybe there's something that we'll be able to do to change it so that you're seeing your psychiatrist more than you're seeing your psychologist in the beginning. You know what I mean? The beginning stages of your treatment. Because I just think it's backwards to see your psychologist more than your psychiatrist, when your psychiatrist is the one that's giving you medications that could possibly be very harmful for you. So yeah, anyway, what are you guys' thoughts? Let me know. I'm about to go get my eyelash extensions refilled, and yeah. I'm just kind of shocked, and I feel like I really, really feel like something needs to change. And if there's anybody out there watching this right now that agrees with me and strongly also believes this needs to change, please let me know, because I feel like I really want to do something about this. And I don't think anybody else is doing anything about it, because nothing's been changed in our system since I was a little girl. It's still the same, and it's been years. So I would like to try to change it, but I don't know how, and I can't do it alone. So if anybody wants to help me, let me know down in the comments. Let's get a team of people together. Let's work together and try to fix this, because I don't know if we can or will be able to, but the least we can do is try. So yeah. All right, I'll see you guys soon.